right, Ramundo Tate, here you go. Welcome to Vermilion Vitez, my friends, where we empower you to build generational wealth to trust, LLCs, corporations, you name it, we're here for you. All right. This is my chief consultant, Raimundo Marquez. Round of applause for this amazing guy. Look at those glasses. Look at that charm.
Well, they
Gorgeous.
got so much light around here. Got so much light around here that it's too bright.
Before we start, we are going to start off with a disclaimer. The informations that we're sharing and on our website are informational purposes only. Please contact your attorney or your financial advisors. We are only offering educational for you. And with that being said, welcome to the show, my friends. Vermilion Vitez on the Sunday Night Live. Today we're going to be diving in a little bit on real estate, but I'm going to start off letting my friend Ray here because he knows a thing or two about real estate that might help you achieve your dreams and your business goals. All right, my friend Ray. Man, those glasses are a charm. Cool.
Thank you.
I got to get some glasses now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it behooved you to get some. So, no, I really am just using it for the light. It's been giving me headaches the last few days. So, and we're nonstop here at Vermilion Vitez. We are nonstop, and we continue to provide greatness. So, first off, Betty was giving you a starter by saying that we are going to talk about real estate. But first things first, I'm going to go ahead and walk you down a journey of the things that I see or recognize in the industry, right? Most people, when they think real estate, right, it's really just a real estate agent that's looking to buy and sell homes and contribute to others in finding their dream home, right? So I want you to look at the market. I don't want you to pay attention to my story like there's no backing. I want you to actually analyze the people that what they do is buy and sell homes or help other people acquire real estate, right?
And it's not that hard like people think. I remember you telling me before, it's not that hard as you think. It's nothing more than a contract between two people trying to flip a home or buy a home or resell it for a bigger price. It's actually kind of interesting what you mentioned there because it is for everybody. Everybody wants to buy a home, right? But why not, instead of saying, I want to buy my dream home when I'm like buying an investment property? That's the way to go. But we're going to get there.
One of the few things I want you guys to look, and I want you to progressively think, right? Everybody has that one friend that can help them get a house, right? And okay, the real estate agent do? They negotiate. They don't own the house and they're not selling you the house. They are a third party agent. And I want you to pay attention to these words that we are saying because they happen in this thing that we call the matrix, right? In the matrix, we have all different types of agents, authorized agents, real estate agents, right? So everybody is an agent. That is not a line from the movie. Everybody is an agent. Everybody is
we are an agent.
We are an agent.
We are an agent.
Representing. We are representing. We don't take any liability.
Nope.
Vermilion Vitez, right? And I'm just going to give you guys an idea is us, Vinny and I, right, Vinny? You and I, for Vermilion Vitez, we don't own Vermilion Vitez. The most you can call us an authorized agent, or you can call us the employees.
A manager, maybe a manager of the company. Depends on the role. It's kind of like, what's that little game that people play that you could wear any hat? There's like a game out there. Isn't it Monopoly? You could be anybody that you want. You wear your hats. No?
All different types of hats. All different types of hats. You own a couple of streets. You can go to jail if you want, if you don't pay your taxes. I just want you to come with me on the journey, right? So I have a couple of friends in the real estate market that are phenomenal, making good money, millions of dollars, and they're doing great, right? They're doing amazing. Even Millifam, right?
Ooh,
There are a bunch of
yes.
traders in Millifam, right? And they make maybe 6 to 7 figures at max. But nobody owns this type of structure behind a corporation, right? So let's think of it this way. Let's think. I'm just trying to put everybody that's in the self-employed self-employed. What I'm looking to do here is put everybody that's in self-employed into a box.
You're an employee. Yeah,
Not
you're
that
the employee. So I'm holding the box. You're
you're
the
still
employee.
the employee for yourself. That's what it means to be self-employed, right? So what I want you to picture is in these self-employments, if you stop working, what happens to your income?
Fades
Right?
away like
If
yeah,
you get
fades away.
sick, if you get sick and you can't go and sell that house, what's going to happen to your financing? You might have some money tucked away underneath the mattress, right? Now, let's say the trader, you have 6 to 7 figures of money, just like Vinny, not Vinny, but just like a niche, right? He had a friend that made $9 million. And what happened? He lost the money.
Well, it was
Why
9
is that?
million to billionaire later on, right? From his ventures. I
From
mean,
his
you lose, you
ventures.
win.
So, but let's say he gets sick, the trader gets sick, and he can't trade anymore. What's going to happen with the money? It's going to stop. I want you to think about the person that works at the mom and pop pizza shop. I want you to look into an area at this pizza shop. You have done this for 5, 7 years. Where are you progressively going? Where are you headed to? Was it just to have an amazing pizza shop in the local area that everybody recognizes? Or do you want to be the McDonald's of pizza shops?
You guys got to think about it, right? Real estate is a phenomenal business to get into. We were discussing a little bit about the real estate industry, and here you go, right? You could get a SBA loan for your home, which a lot of people do, by the way, right? And instead of getting your one single apartment or getting one home or getting a big home, $1 million home, because your dream home, this is what you need right now. I want a home with a pool and this and that. You're 25. Why are you going to need all that? You're probably going to live on other homes future on, or you think you're going to live on that home for the rest of your life. So think about this. Instead of grabbing a personal property, right, for yourself, maybe get a double unit. That's what a lot of people are doing right now. I have two friends who just started just like that. They got their SBA loan. They went there, they bought a 2 unit, they lived in the other one and rent the other one as Airbnb. And at the same time, they were cleaning the Airbnb. Because I remember she asking me if I knew a cleaning lady, and I said I didn't, but then she realized, you know what? I'm not going to pay a cleaning lady. I'm just going to go ahead and clean myself because that's extra money into my cash. So that is what a hustle life is, right? At the beginning, you got to hustle. You got to go after it. She flipped her property, turned it into an Airbnb, and now she's living on the other unit. Now the money there is paying for the whole mortgage of the home. After a year or two, or if you have a specific type of entity like a trust, you could probably use that home as collateral for your next home and your next investment and your next investment. And real estate is basically that. It's like a little waterfall. You get one, after a year or two, you're going to get equity on that house and you're going to move on ahead to the next one. That's how these people keep on buying so much real estate. They're not buying real estate for themselves. No, they're buying real estate for their company, who then could turn that real estate into equity and then buy more real estate. So, my question to you is, instead of you starting your dream home at 25, at 24, and maybe 30, any home that you get for the first time, coming from my mentor, who is a diplomat, he said your first property should always be an investment property because you're never going to live on that home for the rest of your life. Unless you were long ago, you wanted to live on a farm, go buy a farm and stay there for the rest of your life. Great. But we're talking about investments, planning for your future ahead, leaving a legacy behind for your children's children. Ray, he's great at just flipping homes. He did a couple of big projects the other day. Not the other day, a couple of months ago. He did huge projects. And all he needed was a contract from another person. He didn't need to be a real estate agent because you know what? There's a particular document called power of attorney, right? Attorney in fact. And that is there because I studied for the real estate exam. I just didn't do it, but because you have that ability. If somebody gives you that power, like I want to assign you to be my real estate agent, even if you're not a real estate agent, you could still represent that person with a certain kind of document. Just Google it, look it up. I'll put the link little down below here, the name, so you guys could Google it. Google it. Attorney in fact. Boom. I'll leave it at that. But Ray could talk a little bit more about his real estate investment and how he made a couple thousands and thousands of bucks off of that. Beautiful, beautiful.
So your biggest investment shouldn't be your house, is what Vinny was trying to tell you. What your biggest investment has to be in a house is to rent it out, right? Because now somebody else is paying for that equity that you get to now keep. What is happening when you are renting out an apartment complex? What is happening when you are renting an apartment? There's nothing wrong with renting an apartment. There is certain liabilities that you don't have to take on, like cutting your yard, HOAs, and stuff of that matter. If you're always working at fast pace and having to move, then maybe it don't behoove you to get into real estate. Maybe you create an investment portfolio, right? I just want you to branch out and think, because there's certain investors that were saying it took them a while to have a property and put it under their name because of their expertise in certain fields required them to travel a lot. So who are you in this journey? Me, Benny, we travel a lot. We may not have as much on real estate in that aspect. It's too much work in that aspect to go ahead and manage all these properties. You can get a property manager. Yes, I have friends that are in property management as well. They do phenomenal. They'll take care of your house all the time. They'll take care of the house. They'll take care of the eviction process. They'll get the attorneys. And the headache, if the things don't work out, still fall on you.
Mm-hmm.
If any money has to come out to fix the property, it comes out on you. There's nothing wrong with that. It just takes time. No matter if you have a property manager. And a house is a long-term investment. Bradley Maya, Christian, thank you for that comment. Yes, real estate is a long-term investment. Now, if you're doing margin trading, that is what you would consider a short-term investment, 1 to 2 days, maybe a week, 2 weeks far out. You can do longer trades, of course, but I'm just giving you a picture. So, generally, right? I come from a blue-collar family. The first business that my father created was a construction landscaping business. And I saw that man work. And I can acknowledge that man to the end of the earth and see what he did for this family. If it wasn't for him, a lot of things, I wouldn't be the person who I am today without my father, of course. And I give him that acknowledgement, and I love him so much. But we were talking about what he had to overcome. He had to get licensing. He had to get jobs. He had to deal with certain people that he was under contract with that wouldn't pay him, right? And that's all because of them taking advantage of that he wasn't from this country and didn't know the information. But what could have he had done to elevate at the next level, right? He wasn't collateralizing the equipment. He wasn't collateralizing the accounts, right? There's so much in this game that we could talk about, right? That would blow your mind. But you have to be willing to read the information to understand it.
That's true. Reading is key. Financial literacy. Oof, that word.
Financial literacy.
That word. I think I mentioned a story about my dad too, but his first business was a supermarket. Before that, he used to work managing banks. He used to be a manager of Brazilian bank, believe it or not. And
Thank you, Bradley Maya Christian, for the gifted on TikTok. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are here also live on TikTok, YouTube, and X, or just TikTok and YouTube?
Just YouTube.
We are live here on TikTok and on YouTube. So anybody that's on TikTok and you want to see Vinny and I face to face, migrate over to YouTube and you can see us. We have somebody, we have a couple guest viewers right now asking questions. I'm not able to go back and forth, but thank you.
Tell them to come over to YouTube and we'll just type in Vermilion Vitez, guys.
One of the questions is buying land the best option, don't you think? And honestly, land, if you get, I think it was, what was it called? It started with L, something title.
Allodial title?
Allodial title.
Those are hard to get,
You
buddy.
get your allodial, you get your allodial titles. If you're able to do land patents,
Ooh,
you can
that
do
is pretty.
big things in the real estate game. But it's all about where you place these assets. You can have land and put it under your name and still not collateralize it. One thing I want you guys to understand is credit. I need you guys to understand credit. This is the credit game.
You were talking
about you some money. This is OPM.
They were asking about a land. Tell them, well, I'll put the link below. If they go to a place called governmentauctions.com, they're going to find a bunch of land there seized by the government or for sale, which is an auction website and it goes for cheap. You'll probably buy a piece of land for 5,000 bucks. Governmentauctions.com.
Governmentauctions.com.
Auction.
Oh, governmentauctions.com.
Tell them to Google that. It's either .com or .gov, but tell them to Google that, and they'll find a lot of properties there very, very cheap. So a little something for the viewers, little piece of knowledge. But yes, as Ray says, everything could be collateralized, right? It's just a matter of, is it placed on the right entity? Have you filed the necessary documentation in order for you to collateralize that equipment? It might need to be transferred to a different place or another company. Who knows, right?
Lenny, this is the reason why they're going to lose everything. This is the reason, right? This is the exact reason why they are going to lose everything. This is the reason why the government takes advantage of you. Are you listening yet? Government with auctions.com. Governmentauctions.com. Are you guys listening yet? Credit. This is the reason you're not ready. This is the reason things will continue to be a nightmare. This is the reason.
My friends, start reading, start learning. Because if you stand still, you're going to be like a turtle. You're not going to go anywhere. You're only going to go to a place to eat.
Bradley over here saying real estate is the best reason to invest because of taxes. Yes, tax depreciation is a big thing. But how are you going to tax depreciate? All this happens through credit. People keep missing the major piece of the puzzle, the things that help you reach your maximum potential on your money, dollar per dollar. It's the credit. How else are we going to do it, Vinny? How else are you going to get yourself to save money on taxes if you are always claiming a capital gains tax? If you do this through credit, they cannot claim gains tax.
It's basically not using your own money, guys. Basically, you have to develop a certain set of skill, right? A business, or make sure that your credit is good in order for you to go and actually get an SBA loan, right? A business loan for your business.
Look,
so you have to make sure that you are an honor, you paid all your stuff, right? And now your business is coming in on revenue. You got a beautiful business plan that people could look at and be like, damn, this guy's got a 5-year business plan. I don't know what he's going to do with it. He's flipping homes. All right. He's asking for some money. Let's check his credit to see if he deserves some credit, right? That's what the banks are going to check. Credit. The whole name of the system here is credit. What is your credit worth? Are you worth anything?
What is it worth? What is it worth? Look, let's go back to the story of my father. I told you he had a landscaping business. I want you to listen. Just go through what I'm going through and see what I'm watching right now. My father started a construction business. Did he take some loans out? Maybe a couple of dollars. But did he collateralize the equipment? Did he use every single dollar that he had to grow the business? Of course he did. That's what he was taught. He was taught to stay away from debt. Even though his debit card is called debt,
Debit card.
but he still wanted to stay away from debt. Think about it. They're both spelled the same way, but nobody thought about it. Nobody thought about it. They were
Debit
like, stay
card.
away from the credit. They were too scared of the credit because they were like, oh, if I mess up on the money, they're gonna kill me or come after me.
Which they did back in the days, but only did in a third party.
This isn't Dubai. This isn't Pakistan. This isn't Honduras. This is the United States. We are united in government. We are united in commerce, right? So I want you to watch what I'm watching. My father stayed away from credit. My family was always taught to pay off its dues. There was nothing wrong with any of that. They just didn't maximize their potential by buying more assets with their credit. Because if you buy more assets with your credit, now the money that you have spent on credit is making your money back.
Yep.
And now you can deduct all these things. Oh my God, when you're in business, now we're talking about deduction. I'm just walking you down my story. I'm telling you what I'm watching. I'm using my family as an example. And that's what made me want to do better. I saw how hard my father worked. I saw how many sweats. He even split open his leg one day from working.
Doing what?
You know, I think he was cutting some wood or something like that, and the saw hit his leg.
What?
It was sad. It was a sad moment. He cut his leg, and my father is so strong. When he cut his leg, he didn't call the ambulance. This man was so prideful that he drove himself straight to the ER. There he was, and the nurses got him a chair and was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I didn't know what to do." And then this man, right after healing, after a month of healing, he went straight back to work. This is who he was in nature. Oh, you guys think you guys need to work harder, right? I wasn't the man I was today. I was just in school. I was watching him while he was growing. And I got to admire his story because it gave me perspective of what a hard man does and what he does to provide for his family. Great man.
So what do you think, Ray?
Phenomenal.
So you're saying that, and what do you think? People should take their own credit? Should they go for take their credit or a business credit if they're going to buy their first property?
If I were you, I would go in and get business credit. I would do things under any bit. Like, let's go back again to my father. Let's say I was going to start a landscaping business. It doesn't matter what business you're in. We can make a difference in any business. And that's because we have understanding of how businesses and corporate structures work. We've read the forms. We've read how Meta works. We've read how Instagram works. We've read how TikTok, Twitter, right? Apple, Walmart. We've read the difference between being public and private, being a public offering and a private offering. And we've read on what they do with their money. If you want to know how wealthy people move, right? Why wouldn't you read the forms that the wealthy people are creating, right? You know, it's 1,000 pages long. It may take you some time, but if I were my father and I were to start the business up, I would have gotten all the equipment on credit, and then I would have collateralized the equipment. You see what I'm doing here? I would have created some type of business plan, a prospectus for the landscaping company to take this worldwide, right? I would have gotten the credit from that. And then guess what? Now you're boom in real estate. Because what landscaping company or construction company doesn't get in real estate? You need the land, to put all the equipment. Let's go.
All right, my friends, we are back. We are back. We had a short break, but we are back. And we have Ray here. He was finishing up the story, but I guess he had to walk out for a little bit.
So,
Oh, there you go. Go ahead. Sorry, YouTube was on here.
so let's think about it. Is McDonald's a burger company? Just like how I would advise my father to get into real estate as a landscaping company, right? We're talking about real estate here as well, right? So I want you guys to bridge everything together. See it from the perspective what these wealthy people are doing. What is McDonald's, Benny?
McDonald's is a real estate company. If you guys watch that movie, it tells you right there. At the time, they started out as a burger business, right? Guy bought a burger business because it was fast food and he got excited. But then a very interesting agent, a person came to him and he said, You're not in the food industry, you're in the real estate industry. How about you buy the land where the McDonald is being placed and you sell the franchise? Now you own the land, they got to pay you to use the land, and they also got to pay you yearly fees for using their name. So that is a whole real estate empire that McDonald's built on top of a food industry that a lot of people didn't know that it's actually real estate instead of burgers. Big monopoly of real estate. Have you ever wondered why McDonald's have such key locations? They have a beautiful location in downtown Tokyo. Like all key locations, if you go around the world, McDonald's is there, and they own that. That's the only way that they allow you to put a franchise inside a building is if you buy that from McDonald's. So that's how they do it.
We're describing all different types of business models to open up your brain, to get you to see the different moving pieces that are happening here. It's not intended to belittle anyone or have you feel in an insecure way. It's not meant for us to judge. This is just what is happening. Do you judge? Do you judge the rain when it comes down? And are you like, oh my gosh, I am wet. How dare I be wet? And then start blaming the rain. Do you blame the lion for eating the gazelle when that is its nature? All right. So that's what I'm speaking about when I talk about these guys at the elites, the CEOs, CFOs, the presidents, vice presidents, treasuries, treasurers. We're talking about these people in their natural nature. And your natural nature isn't to think like them. It's not. We weren't, Benny and I didn't start understanding this information off the bat, not on day one. It's going to take time. But you have to set a brick day by day to build that wall. And then hopefully later you will build a castle. Whose empire are you building? My father.
Whose orders are you following? Not yours.
Orders are you following? My father had the ambitions to create his own, to give it off to someone like me. Now, it just wasn't God's will for that company to keep going, but it was God's will for me to witness the efforts of my father's labor. So I share these stories to give you a picture. Vinny can give you a story of how and where his family came from in their humble beginnings and what they could have done different. Because that's all we ever do in life. Don't you ever get into a bad relationship and then think, what could I have done different? What can I be responsible for? If you're not doing that, there is no personal growth. You won't be able to see this information. There has to be a level of personal growth. It is a spiritual journey. Right, Vinny? What is it that you saw coming from Brazil and the businesses that your family started out? And what could have they done different that you see now?
Interesting question. Well, they still have a pretty big empire. I'm not going to disclose what they have. They still have a pretty big empire. They actually did a lot of. I gotta think about that here. I'm going to disclose that
These are the
information
type of
some other time.
questions.
Yeah.
These are the type of questions you need to be asking. If your person's not getting stuck when you're asking the questions, you're not asking the right question.
It's just because I'm not sure if I should disclose any of that information right now. So,
You could be brief and subtle. You could be like, hey, this is what my father did in Brazil. He was more of what you would call an accountant. He would fix your house. And you can give it, I'm very brief on what my dad did. I don't give all the details on how he got to where he got to. There's certain things we have to leave out. It's called we're sharing our personal lives to give you insight on how it looks like. We're all human. We're all living a life.
no, I agree. I agree. It's everybody goes through their battles. Everybody goes through their battles. And the one thing we always think that we should do better. I think everybody, our parents, our kids, our friends, our family, they all have that one thought. What if I did this different? What if I did that particular moment different? What if I had choose this right path? But the most important thing is that people have to think about, right, is keep on moving forward. Our parents did everything that they could to put food on our table. And if they couldn't put food on our table, they were still trying. So they cannot be crucified because they didn't put food, because they kept trying. I know Ray parents tried really hard, just like as my parents tried really hard. So the thing we got to think about is how are you going to make your life better moving forward, right? Don't get stuck too much in what happened back then. You got to learn from the past. He was mentioning the story of his father. Ray learned from that story, and he took the initiative of actually going and hitting the books, right? He didn't work. He didn't want to work a 9 to 5 job. He wanted to actually
Oh,
become somebody. He wanted to become the billionaire, become the man who was going to inherit that $1 billion empire, right? So when it comes to struggles, I believe everybody back there has some family struggles and a lot of things happen, but I just want to show you that you could always move forward and remember what happened back then so you don't do the same mistakes now, because that's what we are here for, right? God forgave our sins. Jesus, right, was crucified and died for us. So we have to be grateful and keep on pushing our life forward. That is what we
yeah.
have to be doing.
Yes, yes. Even if something happened to my father, right? The business stopped. The real estate agent, the business stopped. The life insurance agent, the business stopped. So what would we say to the person that is in real estate, right? You're a real estate agent, you're doing fix and flips. You're in real estate, you're a real estate agent doing fix and flips, right? And now you're looking into what it is to building your empire, right? You have, let's say, 150, $250,000. You have more options to acquire more debt, but they're not going to want you to acquire that much money by yourself. They're always looking for different teams. And I want you to look at McDonald's and that corporation as much as I want you to look at that real estate corporation, right? They have teams, both of them. So the difference between the self-employed real estate agent, he's a solo. Even if he has 3, 4 people, that's not enough, right? Even in the C corporation, you're going to have up to 3 people, right? But are you going to dictate all the responsibilities on those 3 people when they give you $10 million? No, they're expecting you to hire people.
That's
You
true.
have to
That's true.
learn, yeah, you have to learn how to manage people.
You have to have a team behind you. Like what we're doing right now,
You
we can't do this
have to.
alone. We have to do it with your help as well, the viewers. We always
We can't
need
watch it all
help.
ourselves. We always need to be a contribution. Who are you contributing to? People would rather contribute to energies to things that wouldn't give them the energy back. You wouldn't see the same return in back. You go to your 9 to 5 and you are cashier and you're giving all your energy for the next 10 years to that employer. What are you receiving back? Minimum wage. There's nothing wrong with it. That's just what the value of that position is in the marketplace.
True. You have to give yourself value to the marketplace, because if you could only flip burgers, or let's say you're an Uber driver. I'm not crucifying anybody, right? I'm not saying bad to anything about anybody's job, right? But use that as a stepping stone for your next job. That's all I'm saying. Don't try to put your head and be like, oh, if I work the whole week, I could make some money. Remember, the more that you work, the more taxes are going to come out of your paycheck, because you're still employed by somebody else. You're working for somebody else. So your taxes are never going to be less. It's always going to be more, because you're making more. You want more money, but you're still an employee and you're making more money. And then it just got to pay more taxes. Now, the moment that you start a
Vinny,
business, depreciation,
Vinny, like let's say you go buy a house right now and you need to fix and flip. Are you gonna fix it up yourself?
you need a
Are you
team
gonna
behind
sell
you.
it yourself? Are you going to buy the house yourself? Right? Are you gonna sell the house and buy it yourself? Possible. But I'm saying, like, Benny, let's open their minds. Let's open their minds. We're giving you the story. What do you see? Are you going to take all these roles on yourself, or are you going to have a team to support you?
You always need a team.
God,
You always need a team.
did Jesus try to go to the promised land by himself? Was the promised land for just Jesus? Let's think about it. Right? I'm not lying here. Was it built for just Jesus? Was God's intention for the promised land just for Jesus?
For everybody.
No. That's the perspective that we're bringing on today's show. Today's episode is called Story Time. Now, we're going to conclude the night real quick, and we just want to let you know that thank you.
Thank you guys for
Thank you
being
for
here.
being here. And God bless.
God bless you guys. God bless you, Ray. Take care. Till tomorrow, my friends. Part 2 tomorrow.